was younger, I slept on the floor all the time. It wasn't more comfortable than my bed, but at least I felt safe that way. When I was younger, I slept on the floor all the time. I figured that way if the monsters crept out, I would see them. But I guess over the years things changed, and the monsters I was ever so scared of found their way out from under my bed and crept straight into my head. And now I feel them crawling, and now I hear them scream. They're deep inside my body, and they're becoming me. And now I feel them crawling, and now I hear them scream. They're deep inside my body, and they're becoming me. When I was younger, I'd run and I'd scream and I'd hide, scared that the monsters would catch me and eat me alive. When I was younger, I'd laugh and I'd joke and I'd smile. But now there's no one here to turn on the light and scare them away. But I guess over the years things changed, and the monsters I was ever so scared of found their way out from under my bed and crept straight into my head. And now I feel them crawling, and now I hear them scream. They're deep inside my body, and they're becoming me. My body is a cage holding me captive, and I'm buried so deep that my screams sound like whispers. My body is a cage holding me captive, and I'm buried so deep that my screams sound like whispers. And I'm screaming, I throw this rip to pieces. Can you hear me calling from down here? I need your help, I need your hand, I need someone to pull me out of the dark. I've been down here for so long that my eyes have adjusted, and I can see clearly now. I've been down here for so long that it's become like a home to me. And now I feel them crawling, and now I hear them scream. They're deep inside my body, and they're becoming me. And now I feel them crawling, and now I hear them scream. They're deep inside my body, and they're becoming me. Do 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 do
I gave you the world, but enough is enough. Now I know these are different, I know that you're different. Just know that I let go the next time you hear this. I never thought that I would be here I gave a shit and you still packed all your stuff. And I gave you the world, but enough is enough. Now I know these are different.
So after welding the keyway bit and the rest of the pipe, which wasn't very easy because you have to hit it and twist it and adjust it many times, this is the result. It's not too bad.
I'll patch up this cut, and I know that next year I'll move on from this rut. I'll let
Well, you have to put everything together roughly to see the height. So because the drum is bigger than the motor, we have to lift it up using a box which will be welded to the frame anyway. So roughly we are here. So I think this height will do me, calculating that I have to lift the motor up. So we measure from down there to the bottom minus the thickness of the cross piece, so the vertical leg will be minus 50 because of that, and take it from there. That's the legs. Align the rollers to that roller, to the big roller of the motor, and the back of the box has to align with the back of the motor because we're going across with two cross pieces to mount the motor on. So this length is okay. So we're welding, well, tacking really. Now we need to figure out if these boxes are okay to mount the motor as it is. So we're putting it together roughly again. That's roughly what we need. I don't really like that the belt is so close there, but it should be okay. Will be under tension. Worst case scenario, I can put a few washers under the motor there, under the motor base, and lift it up a little bit, but should be fine. The motor in that position there looks to be clear of everything. It's not catching on the frame, so I think we're happy with the position of the motor there. So what we need to do now is stretch that all the way out there, and that's only for positioning the motor left or right, and just work it a little bit. Remember, everything is still loose, nothing is welded. This is just loose there. So if you roll that around a little bit, see, it wants to go that way. So I think we need to twist the motor a little bit that way. It's only an adjustment, it's nothing final. So seems to be okay there. What we're trying to do, so this needs tightening, so it will give us the exact position of these. So we'll tighten that there to make sure that this frame is square to this, square to that. So if we tighten them, that will square it up, and then try it again. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I'm going to weld these two boxes there. And then again you have adjustment, because I'm going to drill and tap 4 bolts on the boxes there to mount the motor on, and then when I'm ready to drill and to mark and drill and tap, I can move the motor back and forth if I need adjustments. So I'm going to weld these there, the 2 boxes, and take it from there. Sadly, even though I tried quite a few times to make this work, I adjusted it again and again. It doesn't. It wobbles too much. It's just not working. So sadly, after all this time I spent doing it, I have to skip it. It's not good. So I've got this wheel instead. This is properly machined. This is made out of an aluminium solid bar. Because the keyway was difficult to be cut on it, I've drilled and tapped 2 long grab screws, which are going to hold it in place, along with the center bolt that will bolt on the shaft. And I ordered a couple of really long grab screws to do the job. That should be 10 times better. That's fabrication. That's just trial and error. Nothing always works on the first go. So that's it. So the grab screws arrived. I have to cut them down a little bit. Put the bolt there to hold it in place. It's absolutely perfect. There. Spot on. So this one sadly bites the dust. There we go. Okay, now the next step is, because this wheel, as I said, is shorter, we need to move these across to get a good line with the rollers and go from there. Alright, after welding everything together, rolling the boxes in place, taking all the slag off and everything, I've put everything back together. Again, this is a step that has to be done 100 times. The position of the motor is quite okay there at the end of the boxes, because we're going to have some room in there to mount our switch and generally not be very close I had to pull this bit out a little bit, so that looks kind of okay. So yeah, I'm just going to leave like 5 mil back there and drill and tap the motor in place, and then go for finer adjustment. Okay, so the motor is now bolted on in place. This is just a really rough tracking. If you put it on now, if you plug it in, it will slip out. I tried it before and it slips out, but it's fine because there's going to be a fourth wheel there, that one, which will be the tracking wheel, that will be able to adjust like that to track the belt in place. So just for the first stage, this looks fine. So this is a tensioning system. It's a tensional plus a tracking mechanism. So it's something like that, which is going to be on a pivot of 2 flat bars. So there's a flat bar going to be welded there with a bolt. This will pivot up and down and will be under tension using this shock there. So to calculate the length of this, to see how high this has to go, you really need just to put the shock there and see roughly where you want it mounted. So this will have a gap about 20 mil, so it's going to be able to pivot there on this arm, and then we either mount the shock there because it's going to be high, about 20 mil, or down there. So depending on where the height takes us, the mount will be mounted, the shock will be mounted accordingly. So this is going to get the tension, so the belt is always under tension. But also this mechanism has another feature. So this is going to be the fourth wheel. This feature is the tracking mechanism. So what it's going to be, the fourth wheel will be mounted on this piece of box there, drilled up there with a screw, with a bolt, so it can pivot, do that. And there's going to be another bolt down there, it's going to pivot up there, and it's going to be another bolt down there which we can do up, tighten or loosen, and doing that this will pivot this box with the wheel on, and this will track our belt. The height of this small box there plus this blue box, there's no measurements. I just want this wheel to be roughly at the same height as that. It doesn't matter if it goes a bit high, if it goes up there, but I would like it to be nice and symmetrical. So remember, this is going to go up about 20 mil, so in the end I would like it to be aligned with that. If it's a bit higher, it doesn't really matter. After putting everything together, this is a tension arm bolted on there on these two tabs. And the tension arm is pushed down by the shock like that, so it's always under tension. And then we have the tracking wheel, which is that on a pivot, and you can adjust it by doing or undoing this bolt there. and I worked it, and it works quite straight. Needs a bit, when you start it, you need to do some tracking on it because it tends to slip on or off or whatever. So so far so good. Okay, so since that is working, the next step is to make a backstop for that, a rest, so you can push whatever you're grinding against the belt and it doesn't flex. So it's some sort of an angle drilled and tapped to that, which will be there. And then it's the tool rest, which will go on the other side, on the outside there. Go outside and go there, so you can rest whatever material you're grinding on and you can walk. Okay, so now our backrest, what we're pushing our material against, is made. Goes there. Going to get bolted on the box back there. Like that. And that's how it's going to be. The reason I didn't just weld this corner, because if you have a blade and you want to start the grinding, you know, when you have your blank, you have your tongue, and then you start grinding. If these two were connected, it means that I would have a flat bar of about 15 mil more, and that means the blade is 15 mil more away from the actual belt. So I prefer to do that instead, so I can get the material I'm grinding really close to the belt itself and not have steel in my way. So the next step is drilling that in place. Have to be there, has to be in the correct position. So we're going to use a flat bar to give us the straight edge there, because the belt is floppy and can fool us. And mark and drill this in place, and then we're going for the rest. Next step is we bolt a flat bar there. It's going to take our plate. I decided to go with a rather big plate, so you can even sharpen an axle there if you want to. So after this is bolted in place, this I'm going to put rather low, somewhere like that, so you have quite a big working area up there, rather than putting there and then you're almost, well, not almost, but anyway. So next step is measure from inside the flat bar to the outside of this bar, make a support. So this is a tool rest. The flat bar was there originally. Has a nice big support on the bottom, so it doesn't flex. It has a support there, so this side flat bar doesn't pull in. It's nice and strong. Let's put it back in place. With the tool rest in place, I tried to run the wheel a bit, but I discovered that this piece of box there, which makes this wheel as well, it was, the hole on that side wasn't central, so it was leaning this way, which ended up my belt coming off all the time. I managed to rip one belt. So now that I fixed that problem, it's running a lot sweeter. Nice and noisy. Right, the next step now, to prevent plugging in and unplugging, I bought this switch from eBay. Came all the way from China, and it's going to be installed down there. So the machine will always be plugged in, and then I can flick it on and off from that switch there. And after that, we're kind of done. I need to sort all the electrics, close the box, connect this, but after that it's good to go. Everything needs to be disassembled, every little piece needs to come off. I'm going to cap brush it all, clean everything with the cap brush, and then spray it black so it looks tidy and not 500 different colors. And then well, this project took me about a month or a month and a half. I didn't do it overnight. I got the steel, from the scrap steel from the bin, and got a bit more, then I started messing with the motor. So, well, I guess if you have all the materials waiting and you know exactly what you're doing, it won't take more than a week, and if that, maybe a Saturday, but it is quite a lot of work. So, okay, on with the rest, put the switch on, and the whole thing is taken apart. The next step, as I said, is to wire brush it all down, clean it all up, and then spray it black. So here is what you need to make a belt grinder. Of course, a belt sander. I didn't have a list because I was making it up as I went. Here's the bolts and rollers and the sock you're going to need, roughly. Here's the stands that you need to make. That's the back, that's where you push against, that's what's behind the belt. That's the rest, that's where your materials rests on. This is the main frame, the base there. So that's how it looks like when it's bare. This is your motor. You need a piece of cable from the motor to the box. This is the electric box there, the switch, sorry. And that's your tensioner, and that's your wheel mount, and this is the tracking device. So clean it up and spray.
I will medicate, I can be the one, never sleep again till we see the sun.
The belt sander is now ready. After dismantling and spraying each piece independent, I put it all back together, the belt on, connected all the electrics. So So you've got a switch there coming from the motor. The cable goes through there so it's not in the way. Comes out the other side. Plug it in. So there it is. A do-it-yourself belt sander. I had quite a lot of fun making this project. What I've discovered is that thinner belts like 200-300 grit, 800 grit are very fragile. I just snapped an 800 belt now, just trying to put it on and track it because it's so thin and it goes off so easy. You can lose the belt before you even have a chance to use it, which I did. I lost an 800 belt and 200-300. The bigger grits like this 80, these are fine, they're really strong and tough. So if you're using smaller belts, make sure you track it by hand a few times before you start the motor, and always be ready to stop it until you get the tracking bang on, so you can actually use your belt before you hit it. Everything you do, make sure you have safety. Put your glasses on. If you're grinding, put your earplugs in, don't become deaf. That's it. When you're using the grinder, make sure you have glasses again and earplugs. When you're welding, use a welding helmet. So yeah, that's it. That's my belt sander. Had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys can do it yourselves.